Hello everybody, welcome to episode 74 of the Contest Round podcast. My god, 74. We're getting close to the number 100. I think we might have to bring back Metal Sonic Dude. I think he started off our podcast back in the day. Maybe that'll be a thing. But as well, we're available on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify and iTunes. And as always, I'm joined by Dan of frontlinemcoc, who's my glamorous co-host. You can find him at www.frontlinemcoc.home.blog and as well on Twitter under the handle at frontlinemcoc. Dan, another week.
Yes, what a week. A lot going on in the community. A lot of dialogue, a lot of hot takes. A lot of forum posts to read. A lot of forum posts you have to read very quickly. Yeah. Before they disappear forever. So a lot going on, man. I know you're in the end game with the wedding planning. So I'm sure you're very, very busy. I went to my first Comic-Con last week in a while.
I saw that.
That was a lot of fun.
Was that your son dressed as Hulk?
Yes, my son wanted to go as Hulk because
last
time he did not get to meet the Hulk. The Hulk was not there, so he wanted to go as the Hulk.
Excellent.
And he was having fun. He had those giant Hulk fists. He was fist bumping Avengers and Power Rangers and random dudes selling comic books. So he was having fun, doing his little cosplay thing. And then we went, we're walking around. There was a section of like classic console games. Yeah. So we were playing some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We were playing some old Battletoads and Street Fighter 2, and he was loving that. And then he got to meet the voice of Ash from Pokemon to close out the day, and got Veronica Taylor's autograph. I had to prep him that the 10-year-old cartoon boy from Pokemon is actually a middle-aged woman, but he handled it great. And she was super awesome. She spent a lot of time talking to fans, and we were lucky to get a signed photo, and it was super cool. It was a great day to just hang out and do nerd stuff. So it was awesome.
That was great. I attended my cousin's wedding last weekend, and it scared the living crap out of me and Em because we hadn't prepared half as much as we were doing. The thing is, a lot of people will hire wedding planners, or they'll have venues that handle a lot of the stuff. The venue that
coordinator.
That's it, coordinator. We have a venue which is basically you fill it with I was about to sweat. You fill it with stuff.
A little more do it yourself.
Yeah. So we kind of chose that because we wanted to kind of like go by our theme, which is a comic book wedding theme. And it was just a case like we hadn't planned like half as much of stuff as we thought we had. And we were literally kind of like very unwell. And this week, it's been a case of like Sunday when we came back from the wedding, we literally spent the entire day on it. And then we wrote like, of all the jobs that we put on the list to do, that we were like, hey, we got it done. We then added the same amount and a little bit more for this weekend that we've got to work on. Because the thing is, for me, is when I get spare time, I am trying to work on this wedding stuff. But then it's difficult to balance being self-employed and trying to keep the bills paid, doing that, but also managing stuff on the side to a point where I think there was a problem with our suits for hire. Because I got a call from the wedding, from the suit hire company, and they said, "Oh, we've not got all your measurements." And I went, "You're having a laugh. All of the measurements are in." "Oh no, we're missing this person." And I said, "This person has already been into another branch of yours and have got it sorted." And I said, "This is your problem. You guys need to deal with it." "Oh, no." And I said, "Yes, it's your problem. You need to sort it out." From what I gather, it's sorted, but I'm like, I just can't, I can't balance the stress. I've got Marauder's objectives to deal with.
Yeah, seriously, you've got to fight 10,000 6-stars in the next 6 days or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I mean, Rich, I would just say on the wedding, we wish you all luck, and maybe going to that wedding stressed you out because you saw a bunch of stuff that maybe you hadn't thought of, but at least you have the chance to fix it now before your wedding. So we'll look on the brighter side of life with with that one. But I totally hear you, man. There are a lot of moving parts to a wedding and a lot of stuff. So, I didn't think of that. So
yeah,
I know where your head's at.
Yeah, we're doing like we got our own custom choreographed first dance. We've got loads of things. We're going to do something quite unusual because we want to do like really kind of weird, kooky, different things with our wedding. So we're doing like a special wedding quiz, which is kind of unusual.
Cool.
But it's
is
kind
that
of
for the people in attendance?
People in attendance, yeah.
A little bit of a game show vibe.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of like thought we'd do that because like when we do like I don't know, birthdays and stuff, we kind of do these little kind of quiz stuff, and like we did a Halloween bingo one time, and like it just speaks to us. So it's going to be like there's going to be like a Marvel quiz, like a part 1 Marvel quiz, and a part 2. Which is then all about like me and Em. It's going to have like multiple choice questions, so people don't have to necessarily know us, but kind of like assume what would be the correct answer. So that's what we're going to be doing, some weird stuff. I kind of given away a bit too much, but I don't think any family is going to be listening or watching the podcast, so people get a little bit of it. And there'll be like a video that'll be made of the entire event. I've got to this weekend work out how it's going to be filmed because, you know, Mr. Must Take Control of Filming decides to kind of like, I want to know how I want the wedding to be filmed like this.
Yep.
Any case, we need to get back to we need to talk about Marvel Contest of Champions because
there's that's what they tuned in for.
That's what they tuned in for.
I think people like the life updates.
Yeah.
But a lot going on this week, and I think last week things were just coming to a head as we were recording the podcast, and I think Kabam Mike's post and then a couple other posts later on in the day really solidified things for the community as far as a frustration level with some of the bugs and the fact that there's no timeline right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that was even new information. I mean, it had been in the previous posts. It had been communicated, but I think for a lot of people, it really sunk in last Friday. And I think we were talking before the podcast of what a negative week it's been, and we've just seen so many posts about the state of the game, about seems like anyone who's got any coding experience has been posting on the forum about their ideas, and but it still comes back to that matrix of like, can it be fixed? What's the appropriate compensation, and what's the appropriate communication? And we really haven't had much communication this week, which I found a bit frustrating after all the blowback last week.
Yeah. Where do we? I don't understand. There's loads to kind of unpack with this particular segment, because I don't want to be rude to people who are going, yes, I know Unity coding, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, well, this is meant to be. It's like it's a bit kind of like disappointing from a Kabam side of things, because it's like, okay, well, they're a multi-million-dollar company approaching billion, and this is kind of something that is causing them frustration, something that's kind of like not seen in other Kabam games, but is seen within their cash cow game, their kind of big piece that brings people to Kabam games is Marvel Contest of Champions. There's no other game on their scheme that is as successful or bringing people in to, for me and you to go, okay, we'll try out Realm of Champions, we'll try out Transformers, we'll try out Shop Titans. It's a case, it's like, it's Marvel Contest of Champions for Kabam or bust.
Right, nothing's closed.
Exactly.
From a monetary standpoint, none of those other games are close.
Yeah, so they've got to get it right, and they've got to get it right quickly, and it's all about quick adapting to situations, and that's the key thing that we've talked about. But I know a lot of people who have kind of weighed in on going, oh, well, I know this about coding, and I know this, like, yeah, but you don't work for a multi-million-dollar company. Not to undermine your skills with Unity, your understanding with Unity and stuff. It's a case like, this is the multi-million-dollar company that is kind of delivering what is meant to be or could be referred to as a AAA game on mobile. So it's kind of weird to have that kind of thought that maybe, I don't know, if maybe people are suggesting it to be helpful, and that's where it comes from, good intentions of being helpful, to go, oh, this might be the issue, but at the same time, I'm sure I'd hope that they've got the right experts on this to get it right. But I can imagine that and as I said before, if I was Kabam, I'd be looking to sue, or if not, have some damages from Unity. Funnily enough, I saw a promoted post by Unity, and it wasn't embarrassing, but it was kind of annoying to see it. Let's see if I can find it, because it was an advert, and it was really, really bad, and it was kind of like talking about mobile games. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, because I wanted to read it out, because it was just like quite funny. It was something like, about consistency and stuff, and mobile game developers and stuff like that. I'm probably not going to find it, but it was like one of these ill-timed things that was kind of like, I thought about retweeting it, going like, you are having a bloody laugh here with this.
You know, one question we should address about Unity that I've seen a lot is, why can't they roll back to a previous game engine? And the reason for that is because Unity only supports the current version of Unity.
Yeah.
So that was never an option.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So just to get that one out there.
Yeah, a few rumors have gone around and speculations and things like that. So it's like, I just don't think it's been too healthy for the community as well.
No. And I kind of put that in the CCP chat is, you know, there's some people that, you know, there's some people that have a negative take on this, that they assume that the bugs are intentional, that it's a revenue generating scheme. There other people just, you know, I think see it for what I see it as is a very unfortunate circumstance that hasn't always been communicated in the best way.
Yeah.
But if you're having a buggy experience with the game, you're ending up at the same place, which is game not fun.
Yeah.
And I know I've seen quite a few people from my line chat that quit this week. We're seeing a lot of posts about how unstable the game is. I'm certainly not having those level of problems. I'm experiencing a lot of arena crashes right now as I'm grinding for Kitty Pride. But for the most part, I'm not having parry issues, and I'm not really having any dex issues. I don't know about you, but sometimes I read some of these posts about lag and the controls, and it'd be like, yeah, dude, I'd quit too if it was that bad.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know what to tell people. If it's that bad on your device that it's not fun, like, it's a game, it's supposed to be fun. I get, however you arrive there and whatever your thoughts about Kabam are, I understand if the game just doesn't seem functional, why you don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah. I'm still in a relatively good place with the game, but I'll have down days. Like, Thursday for me was a down day where I was just like, I'm not in a position to kind of like record anything. And I had this really kind of good idea for doing a champion that I thought, like, okay, let's do like a passionate, in-depth piece about one particular champion, and I wanted to do it about Crossbones.
Yep.
Because I really dig that champion. I've been using it for a while, and I wanted to kind of like showcase him and like why he's been such an asset. But then when it came to like recording some of the footage, I just thought, right, okay, so I played about a few things. I just thought, this is not fun because stuff wasn't working well, and I just found that the inputs weren't there. And then you play some other mobile games and go, right, well, this work this way, this don't work this way, and it then kind of leaves me going, oh, well, do I want to record on this? So then I thought, look, take a day off recording stuff for Marvel Contest of Champions, and then see where you are today. And I've logged on today. I've been kind of working on my objectives. I've been preparing a video on Cyber Weekend unit grinding.
Oh my god, it's almost time for that.
Yeah, because we're
only like 10 weeks away.
Yeah, exactly. So
oh my goodness.
That's and I just thought, that's stuff that made me. I like the numbers. I like looking in depth. I kind of creating those kind of videos, those grind guides that people like on the channel, and also I enjoy making. So I that gives me my vibe, and then kind of like I start kind of like topping up my positive vibe, and I go all the way back up to like 90%, and then it's like, okay, well let's keep going. And I think that's the thing. And as we've said, you've got to find your fun within the game if you're not having a good time. But I think just going back to what we started talking about in this segment is communication. There was something that Kabams said. I'm going to be covering it on Monday for the news show, but he did say something along the lines of, in response to the Unity thing, which I don't know if that thread has now been deleted. There was something where he did explain about that rollback, but also said that next week, so the week beginning the 13th, that there would be information. Here it is. So I found it here. So Kabams says about the old thread when it comes to the rollback regarding different situation a long ago, does not really apply at time. We'll have more information to share with you within the next week. This will be about the problems we're experiencing. So that's good. That's at least them kind of like
I was really hoping for something this week.
Yeah, me too.
Now we're talking about something coming out 10 to 14 days after last Friday's blow up. And listen, I get it that they don't always work on our timetables, but particularly over the weekend, weekends seem to be the time when the community gets the angriest during problems, and that's of course when Kabam, it's not during Monday through Friday, so you're not as likely to get as many responses. Sometimes people post like 8 a.m. on Sunday, and they're like, when's this going to be fixed? It's like, well, probably not right now, because it's 5 a.m. on a Sunday in Vancouver. So,
yeah, exactly.
Probably not right now. But also, people play the game more on weekends because they're not working. That's just how it is. I really wish that I felt a sense of urgency from their communication on this. I believe they are working on it. I believe they want to fix it. But with an ongoing issue like this, I think it has to be handled differently than servers are down, we'll get them back up as soon as possible, and just jumping in the forum threads and maybe having some fun with that, because that's an on-off problem that is going to be measured in hopefully hours. This we're into months with this thing. So like I said, I would like some more sense of urgency, and I just, from a communication standpoint, I don't feel like they're reading the room correctly, especially after last week.
I agree. It's not this situation is not like the May. It's kind of similar, but kind of not. So May 2020, when we had that big blow up of like the game had kind of gone in the wrong direction and needed to be kind of like by the community kind of reeled into a better direction of movement. It's kind of like that, but it kind of isn't. The difference is
it's different. Yeah, it is different.
The rush narrative to getting this sorted is to keep players playing this game, and that's the biggest. It had to happen at the worst time for this for the time frame of it being summertime, and as well, some key content had already been put out. Some content players were wanting to get done. The fact that summer's always that kind of point where you just go, well, it's a summertime, I'm gonna like do other stuff, and when people then come back and go, hang on a minute, is this game fixed or not? They've got to do some serious work to kind of give players that idea that the game is consistent again, and that's going to take. I think that's going to take over the winter, because
it's just a much squishier idea. Like, say the issues with the roadmap in last May, where it's like, hey guys, we hear you. There's way too many link nodes in AQ, so we're going to take them out. Just be patient. So, and they did. But it's like, okay, like I believe Kabam can take link nodes out of AQ. that seems like a very on-off thing, whereas this has to do with the whole feel of the game and how it functions on all these different devices, and we now have this track record of it not working. Like it's not a design choice, like too many link nodes in Alliance Quest, for example, or removing no retreat from the champion. If anything, this is closer to the overheating issue.
Yeah.
With the phones from, what was that, 2019?
Oh God, yeah.
Well, it was that was a long time ago, but that went on like 3-4 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, this has gone on longer than that, but I would say that's I think the closest issue where we've had this week or month long performance issue with the game. So yeah, it's tough. We did get some compensation. In the last couple of days, we've received both AQ and Alliance War compensation, which I think is helpful. I just think we're getting to the point where, as much as people like the compensation, because it's not the same as like a usual compensation. Like usually it's like stuff got screwed up, we fixed it, here's the compensation, and scene.
Yeah.
You know, and we pop our nexuses and we move on. Whereas this is just like, oh yeah, AQ's gonna have some issues this week. At least here's a little bit to get me by. Like it's appreciated, but it doesn't solve the feels bad problem.
Yeah, I'm getting.
Like, I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. I'm just saying it doesn't solve the issue.
It then comes a point of going like, compensation. I honestly now do not care. Like I've got
right, because it's you once you go to it too many times, it just doesn't have the same impact.
Yeah, even if they kind of said, oh, here's a 6-star Nexus, I'd be like, I really don't care. I mean, the revives, health potions, fine, but like my stash is already overflowing, and I've got Summon Sigil, and I'm like, I honestly don't care anymore. I might do some end game content and be like, okay, well, I'm doing this under the current state of the game as it is, and like, okay, do I need those extra revives and health potions? Maybe. I just want my game back. That's
the bottom line, right? That is the bottom line. Is we want the game back, we want the fun back, and we need to hear more about the process of how that's happening, even if it's some updates to say, hey, we tried XYZ, it didn't work, here's the next item on the punch list, and we'll get back to you on it. Like we just need some more updates. So hopefully next week there are some really comprehensive updates with some good news. That's what we need.
Let's quickly move on, talk about objectives. Now, we briefly touched upon them.
Yes. This was what I was worried about, Rich. I know you've got the month to do it, but honestly, if I wasn't grinding for Kitty Pride right now, like, I don't even want to think about where I'd be. Because I am currently on 6 of 7 of the 6-star one.
Nice.
Because I've already done 90-something rounds of arena.
Oh yeah, you're on your big Kitty. Grind. I
am. I am. I am about 16 million points deep right now.
Nice.
So moving along, 92 on the win streak as of 6:30 a.m. Local time on Friday.
Oh yeah, Dan's a bachelor for the weekend. Woo!
Yes, I am. You know, it's funny that we were joking a couple weeks ago, and it's like, I'm gonna have to pop calves because I can't do the arena unless the wife and kid are out of town, and that's exactly what happened. It lined up. So I'm doing the grind. I think she's gonna go high. I think the 6-star is gonna go crazy high. Yeah. Like 170, 175 million would not surprise me for the 6-star.
I thought 165, but I think you're right. I think it's gonna go high. I mean, the problem we've got at the
so
moment
much hype
is like the we do have a little bit of arena bots, rumored arena bots.
Yeah, arena bots, arena mercs.
Yeah,
they're out there. I think people are going to be really watching it on this one, especially if the score seems out of bounds.
Yeah. That's
so
a problem,
yeah, but anyway, I sidetracked the Marauder objectives. Like these last week was fine. Like last week's like, oh, I have a 6-star bishop, auto fight, and wipe them out. This week, like that is a lot of playing the game.
Yeah, that's true.
To do that, like that many fights, is it hard? No, but like I said, like I've done what 270 something fights in Arena in the last 24 hours, and I'm not done yet.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember now. Like as we're recording, I'm doing little bits with like 6 stars, and you like my 6 stars versus some 5 stars and stuff, just because like I'm trying to like overpower against it. But then like it doesn't really matter like who you use. It's a case of like just kind of going, okay, well I've got these champions that are kind of like defeating, ending a special attack. It's just trying to find a good balance between to doing it. Can you overpower, because at the end of the day, if you're using a 6-star versus a 5-star, it then over damages against it. It's like finding the little tricks, but it's like for me and for a lot of people, I'm recommended go and do it in Arena, because it's just like it just seems easier.
Yeah, it is. I think one thing we should remind people of is you want to complete at least one of these so you can get weeks 3, 4, and 5. That's the real the sticking point here is you have to finish one to unlock the next, and you have to finish week 5 to unlock something special for October.
Yeah.
So you do kind of need to get these done.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. That you don't have to finish week 2 within the next few days. Week 3 will be there when you get there, but you do want to get it done.
Yeah, and that's the problem when it's like a one month links into the other, and you're like, oh, okay, right, I guess I got to do it then. So get doing it, because apparently there's better stuff, there's better rewards down the line. So yes. But I don't know. I'm hoping next week then they might have like a better objective, especially because there was so much kickback, as it were, from this week's stuff. We can live in hope.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Now we're going to move on to talk about something fun. That's right, something very, very fun, and that is a very good series. Like I was quite unsure with the first episode, but then as it's gone on, I think the episodes have got better. And that is What If. We start with episode 4, and then we talk about episode 5. Have I got my numbers correct, Dan?
You do. Episode 4, Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands. This has been my favorite episode so far.
It's a good episode.
I really, really enjoyed this episode. I think one of the reasons why is it felt very authentic because they had the entire Doctor Strange movie voice cast back.
Yeah.
Like they had Benedict, they had both Benedicts. They had and Rachel McAdams and Tilda Swinton. So it just, the writing, just sort of the quippiness of Doctor Strange, like it came out. So it felt very much like a different take on the original Doctor Strange movie. It went to a dark place. And I thought the twist at the end was just fantastic. And again, what I liked a lot about I think the T'Challa episode, although even more with this one, is I felt like we got the complete story. I mean, let's face it. Spoiler alert: the entire universe ends.
Yeah, we got no happy ending
at the end of this one.
No, that's no happy ending.
No happy ending and no loose ends.
No, which I actually kind of liked. I kind of thought that was kind of a thing there to say like,
yes,
look, this is when you go too far. This is what's going to happen, and it's a case like what's she called? What's Tilda Swinton's character called again?
The Ancient One.
The Ancient One. If the Ancient One warns you something ain't going to go right, follow the rules of that one. The Ancient One is right.
Yeah, she knows what she's talking about. She's seen a lot of stuff. And Wong was also like, hey, don't do this.
So he's always reminding stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Strange,
he's the voice of reason. You gotta listen to him, Doctor Strange. You gotta listen to Wong. He knows what's up. Yeah, and just sort of seeing Doctor Strange, slowly peel away his humanity as he's absorbing all these mystical beings, and by the time he can actually save Christine Palmer, he's no longer the same person. I mean, she can't even recognize him.
Yeah.
By the time that he's able to bring her back, and he's literally destroyed everything in the process.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you got what you wanted, but what was the cost? So
yeah.
A I don't want to say fun cautionary tale, but I think it was enjoyable storytelling, and I like that they took it as far as they did and didn't go with like good Doctor Strange saving the day.
Yeah. Good Doctor Strange loses an evil
good one. Doctor Strange loses to evil Doctor Strange, who apparently has spent like centuries becoming super powerful evil Doctor Strange. So yeah, I really liked this one. I thought the cast was excellent, well written, really highlighted the possibility for this series. I think it was cool at the end where Strange has gotten so powerful he can actually interact with the Watcher.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice touch as well.
Yeah. And the Watcher can intervene.
Nope. Can't do anything. Although sometimes the Watcher breaks that rule.
Yeah, he
so
does.
It'll be interesting to see if he actually does. And so Doctor Strange, I think this one was pretty well liked by everyone. What if number 5, our Marvel zombies? We finally got our Marvel zombies. This one seemed much more divisive on Twitter. From reading the reactions, what did you think of it, Rich?
I loved it. This was my favorite episode.
Okay, cool.
Because it went down not a horror route, but it kind of did. It just felt, for me, I felt like I wanted more from it, because it had loads of different things like Vision's a bastard. Like he's
and in a way we get the switch of WandaVision, right?
Yeah.
We know what Wanda does if Vision dies. Now we know what happens. Vision won't take it well if Wanda dies either.
No. So much so, he will chop off T'Challa's leg to feed her. Like, that's how bloody deep this episode was with that. There's so many little things to unpack here. We've got Happy getting all confident with his, what seems to be like Stark gauntlet, so to speak, going blam, blam, blam. And even as a zombie going blam, blam, blam. Which I thought was kind of like, it's fun. I don't know if... It wasn't Tom Holland, was it, that was voicing it? It didn't sound like him.
I doubt it was him. I'm going to check real quick.
Yeah, I just thought it was off with that kind of like... the way that he was speaking. I thought it was a bit kind of weird. Hulk can't get bitten, which is nice. That's helpful to the cause. Cap Zombie gets cut in half by Bucky, which was kind of cool. There's honestly, I really don't know. Doctor Strange is a zombie who can still kind of like deal with the mystical arts. That's kind of cool. Yeah,
in the zombie comics, everyone retains their powers. So and the it felt very authentic to the Marvel Zombies series, and jumping ahead a little bit to the end where we see Zombie Thanos, who's about to complete the Zombie Infinity Gauntlet. I'm trying to remember exactly how it happens in the comics, but in the zombie comics, basically like the zombie Marvel heroes eat everyone in that universe, and then figure out how to travel through the multiverse, because they're like, well, we ate everybody in this universe. And that's how they start interacting with some of the main Marvel universes, because they just run out of food.
That's just quite funny, isn't it? Like, imagine that kind of
It's really dark, but it's hilarious at the same time.
Conversation with each other, like, which basically in zombie speak is, we're going to travel through the multiverse in order to eat other different types of multiversal people.
Yeah.
Because that Thanos bit, just leading into it, like, T'Challa was... there was a conversation with him and Spider-Man where they were just, Peter Parker, where they were like, oh yeah, now we're going to, like, make a difference and change the world and whatever. And it just flashes to Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. And you just think, zombie Thanos, nah, you're not so good.
Right, yeah. It's like they're finally relaxing. They're like, okay, we got this.
Yeah.
We're going to be okay. Like, that was really bad, but we're going to be okay. It's like, nope. There's one more thing. So yeah, I could definitely deal with some more what if Marvel zombies for sure.
Especially with the head of Scott Lang.
Head of Scott Lang. You know what's funny is seeing the credits, and I saw Paul Rudd was in the credits, and in that opening scene with where he's like one of the first guys to get zombified, he just goes arg. And I was like, did they really bring Paul Rudd in to say arg? And then, of course, we see that the quippy head of Scott Lang gets brought back. But for a minute, I was like, did they really just get him for like one scream?
That would be just such a annoying thing.
I know, but you could see Paul Rudd being down for it because he seems to be up for whatever. I think one thing that some people had an issue with was like, maybe the lack of emotion with characters killing off their zombified friends. I mean, that's pretty... I want to say that was pretty standard with the comics.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like, I think they see the zombies, even if it's like Bucky versus Zombie Cap, as like, it's still the enemy, and like your friend, you've already mourned for your friend. That's how I interpret it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because like you would go in a situation of like in like the Walking Dead, or kind of like in more so of like real life. You just like you go right. Well, if you're with a group of people, especially a group of Avengers and stuff, and in the situation, you have to, I don't know, you put on a front. Essentially, like you might kind of like away from people, like emotionally cry. The time things might get to you. Like here's an example. There was someone that a friend of mine said that their like a friend or something, a parent had not grieved prior to lockdown for a parent passing, and they hadn't grieved for 5 to 10 years. And when it was the lockdown, and when you're kind of like alone with your thoughts. Because essentially, we're in our workaday world. We're kind of like we're busy. We don't have time to think about stuff. When you have time to think about stuff, you think about emotions and the emotion of like the situation, and then you kind of like you'll be overcome with emotion. And think about that person, and you will become emotional, and you'll cry and things like that. I want to say that there's a parallel to this because, like, it's an animation, but then a lot of the time you kind of like, well, is this meant to if this mimics what goes on with the Avengers? It's like saying when Black Widow passed, they're like, okay, well, they had the like Thor didn't take it well, and just kind of went like, no, this isn't happening. We can get her back, and it's like it's then. The time for emotion and being upset passes because the focus is something different, a bigger cause, a different cause. So, the Twitterverse don't know nothing about stuff. You don't know nothing about no one. Simple as that. Yeah,
I mean, it was. I like, I like where they're going with the series. I think it's fun. I think the. I've always enjoyed the What If comics. There may be. They're not always like the greatest stories ever, but when done well, they can be really interesting. And I think we've just seen a pair of really, really interesting ones, and that have sort of embodied what the series can be about. I think next week we're getting the King Killmonger episode.
Oh, that's going to be an interesting one because it'll be that. Tony Stark has some sort of like involvement in that. I don't know
Yeah, at least based on the preview images, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with. Isn't there like meant to be a Party Thor one coming or something?
Let me see. I don't know. There's a one where Vision becomes Ultron.
Oh God.
Coming up, and yeah, I don't. They haven't really released anything for 7 and 8 yet.
Okay,
So,
we'll have to wait and see.
we'll have to wait and see. But I think you're right. I think I heard something about a Thor one coming up.
It's like it's a little bit of a breath of fresh air because it's like a nice little 30-minute chunklet where you can just just get into it.
And it's an alternate universe, so you don't have to like think of like all the stakes of like the main universe. You could just kind of take it for what it is and like, okay, well, did I enjoy this experiment or not? So
I like enjoying it with a little bit of dinner, watching it.
Yeah,
seems very nice. You know,
it's a good time. It's a good time.
Well, I think that kind of wraps up some what ifs. We'll have a brief talk about some other games. Are you playing any Marvel Realm at the moment?
Just a little bit. Trying to get my Sorcerer Supreme to Avenger tier. Been doing some of the Pinnacle quests to chase down those pesky tier 3 catalysts to actually get my first rank 4. But it's a pretty slow time in the game. There's not much new. They don't have a new champion. The big thing for the month is the Scar battle, which is actually a repeat of content from 2 or 3 months ago.
Right.
So there's not really anything new. They released that roadmap a few weeks ago with 5.0. We said like, hey, we got a lot of stuff to work on, so this update's really light because we're changing direction. Yeah. So they very much feel that in the update, but they have said why. So I've been more focusing on MCOC, prepping for the kitty grind, and playing a little bit of Marvel Future Revolution and trying to get my Storm built up. But you're way ahead of me on that.
I'm ahead, but I don't feel like I'm at the point of at the top level yet, and that's something that is still going to take a bit of time for me to do. I've probably reached the point where I've got all the badges that I want at the most rarest point, and I've just picked up something I've been hunting for a very long time, which is a final Maestro piece, Maestro badge, which is going to complete my set of Fist of Tyrant, which increases my supervillain damage up to 3,531. So that's something as well. It's just for me, it's a lot. There's a lot of understanding stats, and there's a lot of kind of like how I improve things.
I'm getting into that. Like as I've started to pick up some of the, I've just got Storm right now, so I'm just kind of focusing on her and just getting the different outfits. Like, okay, so are the stats attached to the gear, or is it like, oh no, I've got to get these badges and look at the badges. So there's a lot to learn with the system, and it's a little overwhelming to start. It's like, okay, how do I make you more powerful? And then it's like, okay, I can invest in this special attack or that special attack, but I'm not quite sure which one I like more right now. So I'm trying to go slow as far as spending my resources until I feel like I've got a good handle on what button does what. Yeah,
true. Yeah, for me, I've probably put the content out. Well, hopefully I put it out by now. About skill changing. Like there's so much to the game. There's loads of different layers to it. This is why I do love Marvel Future Revolution, because it does go back to the times when I played World of Warcraft, and it was like so much importance about going, okay, well, you know, do I go this way with my stats, this way with my masteries, this way with my proficiencies? There's no proficiencies.
A lot of depth there. Yeah,
there's a lot of depth, and then. But I have seen, I'm not going to like name names or kind of call people out, but there have been people, I've seen some Twitter posts from time to time of people going like, oh yeah, I played for an hour, don't get it, not playing it. It's like, okay, that's fine. If you're only going to play for an hour and go like, I'm not going to invest any time into it, then it's up to you, because it's like, it's a fun game that you can take at your own leisure. Whether or not you like doing the PvE grinding, or you kind of look at it, because like PvP in this game is very tough. It's very tough because the matchmaking isn't great, and that's something that they need to work on. It's always been a big problem for them. But if you like your PvE stuff, then the game is sublime. It's probably one of the best PvE Marvel games since Marvel Heroes, especially from a MMO open world RPG type game. And I'm honestly like I'm hooked on it. I've got it on BlueStacks. It's not the greatest experience, and I will be streaming it and putting it to my iPad. But from an experience standpoint and what I'm experiencing, I just think it's great. As long as they, every 2 months, I'd say 2 months, add in new content. And I'm talking, they've got Invasion coming up, and they've also teased that Magic is coming into the game, but also adding in new zones. So for me, I'll probably be 100%ed with Xanderth, Midgardia, and Sakaar by 2 months' time, providing I get some most wanted drops of people to defeat, and that'll be good. But they will need to add in more content, more places, just to spice it up for players, just so that they kind of don't, get so annoyed about stuff. I must admit, the developers listen and they are working on stuff. There's an event in at the moment that is allowing people to get these mystery boxes. And the mystery boxes, for me, have been dropping lots of things like costume tickets, costume tokens. Is loads of different drops. If you're kind of doing stuff, you're getting 4-star costume drops. You name it. Like these mystery boxes are pretty darn sweet for the drops that they give out, and that's helping. It's helping players then combine. If they're getting 3 stars, combine those 3 stars to get 4 stars. Those 4 stars are going to be the pinnacle of what they use within their mega cards and making their stats better, or they're going to be combining and you're able to create more powerful ones, and it's just elevating players, which I think is fantastic.
It seems like they've been very responsive on social media, and you get the sense that they're excited about the game, which is cool to see. And like you said, Magic's coming to the game. That is, I find that very exciting. And I'm very curious to see what they do with the costume sets for her, because they've mostly advertised sort of the traditional New Mutants generic costume for her, but she has some really wild looks when you start to think of her as the ruler of Limbo, and sometimes she's has horns and a tail, and she's part demon. Is there going to be that costume? That could be you could do a lot with Magic, because she's certainly had some evolutions over the years.
Oh god, yeah. I'm really looking forward to it, and it's going to be one of these heroes that I'm kind of preparing now to get enough crystals to make space. It is amazing the amount of free crystals I've managed to generate since starting playing the game, and that's just the thing with it. If you are kind of going, I'm not able to get this and this from doing the going okay, I'm not able to get some of the powerful costumes, and it is difficult to pull some of the rarer costumes. I must admit, I got very lucky with pulling Rise in the East set. I pulled a 4-star costume piece, a cloak, which is a very rare piece to get. It's a very low percentage to get. The rest of mine wasn't too great, and I've kind of had to make do with my set for Doctor Strange and some stat improvements. And that's just the thing. I've been trying to get the Hydra costume set for Doctor Strange because of just some stat improvements, and I'll just kind of find it on screen for YouTube and also read it out. Where is it? Costumes, and then Hydra. Hydra. Where's the Hydra set? I think I've just skipped past it. So I think it's 16. No, it's Hydra Empire. There it is. Okay, so I've got one piece of it, but then you get from 2 pieces of the set, you get attack plus 5.7%. 3 pieces of the set, you get defense plus 8.7%, and then mystical arts class skill level plus 6, which is something that I do want to get. And I've been doing crafting to get it. I've been trying to win it. I'm both times, and I've tried to, but it's just not. I'm just not getting it. I've probably got I can actually open some up stuff in a minute and see if I get it. But I've not ever picked up anything apart from one cloak on one of the costume variants. I think it's just like costume B or something. So it's been a little bit disappointing to kind of not get something that I've been wanting to get, and that's just that's one of the problems when it comes to acquisition. There are some selectors that you can get. I think it's like a pity system or something where you're able to kind of like pick up one thing or select, so to speak. So my hope is that I could pick it up because I love that set. In the meantime, I'm settled with a Secret Wars set, which is, I think it's actually similar. I don't know if I kind of like, maybe I'm being a bit too, it's because I've got, actually I think it's this attack 3.8%. What did I say before? 3.8% versus, I actually might have a set that's kind of all right for the time being. It's a good padding system, but it's definitely something I'm looking at going like, oh, well, I want to acquire this or this. I just need to double check it now so I don't sound like an absolute idiot. Whereas Hydra Empire 3.8. Oh no, it is. My set is 3.8% attack versus 5.7. So that Hydra Empire one, man, I am, as soon as I get the pieces, and it's tough. Like I've in the video side of things, if you're watching on YouTube, and I'll tell you on the relevant things, I've just claimed 9. So I've just tried to open 9 crafted sets. I've picked up one 3-star, which is very rare to get, but I've picked up zero Hydra Empire pieces of costume. That's how bad that is, and that's from crafting the Imperial Combat Imperial Combat uniform, and using all those fabrics to then craft. So you can tell what the drop rate is for that stuff. It's very low to get the sets that you need, and it's like I'm looking at these rare ones. Because that's the thing, if they've got a glow behind them, that means that they're rare, and that's the stuff where I'm like, oh, dude, like, come on. So at the moment, as I said,
it's amazing how much you can thirst for like a certain costume.
Yeah.
Like I just, it was great because you can kind of scroll through them and see like what it could potentially look like.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, like no, this is the one I want. Because it seems like each character has like 20 or 30 of them.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot there, and of course room to add more. But yeah, I very much enjoy that part of the game where people get to kind of design the champion in that way.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've looked at this. I mean, I'm working. I just let anybody know that's interested. I'm working on raising stats for my Doctor Strange past my I don't know, furthest possible level I can do. And I still was gonna I've got, I think my badges I'm done with. Specialization still work to do. Omega cards still work to do, and costumes still work to do. So it's like that's what I'm working on at the moment, and that's doing things like Dark Zone. That's doing things like content to grab more, and also some special openings. All free to play, by the way, all free to play. Dan, what are you up to next week when it comes to Marvel Contest of Champions and Frontline MCOC?
Yeah, so I've got another 50 or 60 million to put up in this Kitty Pryde arena. And working on finishing up some Variant 6 guides, and hopefully getting back to playing some Variant 7 next week.
Very nice. I think my plan is to do a lot of writing on stuff that I'm meant to be doing for grind guides in various different areas. Probably like resource grind guides, and then moving on to other stuff. Doing lots with Marvel Future Rev and planning content with that. MCOC wise, streaming. I'm probably going to be streaming back to doing. I have 100% of Cavalier difficulty now, so it's back to doing 7.2.5, and then maybe 7.2.6 on stream. I haven't decided. Do uncollected, do all the other stuff, pick up some units, happy days, prepare for Cyber Weekend, and also 7.3. And that's it. That has been the show. That's been it. That's been the podcast. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll see you next time for the next episode. Have a good week, whatever you're doing. Bye-bye.